Good morning. This is Ogle's fish room. We're looking at my 15-gallon. Well, it's 15 tall. Same dimensions as a 10, but just several inches taller. We've got two angelfish in here, the white ones, albinos. They're quite pretty. I've rearranged this tank a bit. I used to have Circle Tetras in it. I've moved them to the 20 long. I wanted these two to have, they were in the 20 long as well, but I wanted these two to have more room. As you can see, it is a fairly tall tank. It's actually 16 inches high. It might be hard for you to see, but these pieces of wood are layered, so they can get behind and come around and come underneath almost every piece in there. It's not just a wall here. And they're at different angles, and some go back to the back area there, some move forward, and some support other pieces of wood. I know it's hard to see. Anyway, this is my 15. We're going to try to go through all, I'm forgetting how many tanks I have now, 11 or 12. Okay, that's 15. Right above here is a 20. This also is a tall. I need to put a little bit of water in that. Not much, but it's a little low. I don't like seeing the light reflection on it. This tank has 15 long fin. Trying to get it close up here. There's the big one. Long finned black skirt tetras. There are 15 in here. They've been in here quite some time. A lot of rocks, wood, structure. You can see it kind of goes through the back there. A lot of places for them to hide, swim around. Pretty much the plants are concentrated on being, this is a group of Anubias. I've fastened to this piece of driftwood. I've glued Java Fern to these rocks. Now, the rocks they're on are movable. So I just take a rock out of my rock collection and basically use super glue gel, baby Java Fern that I've taken off my adult Java Ferns, and glue them to the rocks. Now this is an Anubias over here again. It's attached to the piece of wood. Okay, we're going to back off of here. Okay, that was a 20. Hold on here. Okay, now a little bit to the left. All these tanks are in one room. I took one of the kids' bedrooms, turned it into my fish room, and that way I can control everything in here. I've got like an accordion style oil-filled electric heater that I keep this room at 80 degrees at all times. So I keep the door closed, keep the room temperature the same. Now when you add the lights to these tanks, I've got digital thermostats on every single tank in this room, and I check them constantly morning and night, but they pretty much hold right at between 82 and 83 degrees, which is perfect. Now the two tanks you just saw, they have angelfish. Well, they like it warm as well, so does most tropical fish, but this is a 5-gallon. There's a little blue, I call her Blue Girl, little female Betta. And we also have, I don't know if you can see him swimming around here. We have 6, there he is. There's a couple there actually playing around. 6 Bumblebee Gobies. They're very tiny. They do not grow more than an inch. Most of these are not an inch yet. Probably 3/4 maybe. Anyway, the little blue girl seems to be doing very well. There's a lot of caviness going on here. You can see through there. There she is in the back and down in the cave. So she can get out of the light if she wants to, but I like the lights because my plants are going nuts. These Vallisneria over here, I just put a couple in there and they have just gone crazy over something. They're feeding, of course, off the waste of the fish, but I'm just saying they like the lights. You can see how far they've grown. Well, not covering the top, but they're They're close. Isn't she pretty? If I can get the light on her. But she seems to enjoy this tank. This is a 5-gallon. I'm trying not to spend a whole lot of time here, but we've got Vallisneria in the back. We've got some Java Fern that I have glued. That clump back there is another group of baby Java Fern that I have glued to a rock, and it's sitting on top of the other structure here. There's a little bit of Java Fern sticking, there it is, sticking out of the top of a coconut shell, a half coconut shell I have under here holding this mound of dirt back. What do we have here? That's an auto sinkless right here. I have 2 in there. They, as you can see, they look terribly healthy. Fins are perfect. Got a little belly on them, so they're doing very well. Got another little goby right there. Okay, that's the 5-gallon female Betta tank. Only one female. I'm not trying that the sorority thing people talk about. The young people seem to be getting into that, but my room is filled up. I don't have any place for a sick tank, so I don't want anybody getting sick. Okay, the red Circle Tetras, there's a couple right there that were in the bottom first tank you saw. They're over here, and I think doing very nicely. The color is very pretty. We've got, what do we have here? We've got Zebradanios, long fins up at the top. We've got some squiggly coolie loaches in the back there. You just saw a golden mystery snail fall off the wall. There are 3, there they are, right there. 3, let's see if I can move in. There's a little dwarf Cory right here in the front. Those are 3, what am I trying to say here? Black neons, that's what they are. And I can't tell you how old these are. You can see a little Bumblebee, there he is, another Bumblebee Goby. There's some in here as well. I was going to say I can't tell you how long. I've had these 3 neons for years and years and years. They just hang in there. I've moved them from tank to tank to tank. They were in my large tank, and I just, when I drained it out or gave a serious water change maybe a year ago, I've done more water changes, but I'm just saying, about a year ago I pulled them out of there. Okay, this is Corkscrew Valve. Doesn't look very corkscrewy there, but it is. There's some, you can see some twists there. That's very pretty. Rocks, a lot of structure. I love pieces of wood. All kind of wood in here. All kind of movement. Let's see. Oh, we've got some ghost shrimp playing around over here. Where's that? There he is. There's a pretty big one. We've got, this is the Vallisneria, the skinnier one, not the corkscrew. There's a little coolie loach there. Okay, we've got a coconut, I call it a coconut hut. Not the other one, well, you couldn't see that anyway, but the other one's more of a round shell. This is a side piece kind of made into a, well, it's made into a hut. That's all I can say to you. It's got the, I've glued the Java Fern onto the top of that. We've got dwarf tiger lily right here in front of you. It's actually very red. I don't know if you can see that on this camera. No, it's beautiful. Doing a beautiful job. There's the mystery snail got back up on a piece of wood again in the back there. Okay, we've got a couple little dwarf Cory Cats. I think that one's a pygmy. I think the other one was called a dwarf. Dwarf gets a little bit more of a humpback, kind of like a traditional Cory, but they still all remain under an inch. Let's see, what else? I think that's about it. We've got hang on the back over here, and we've got a sponge filter that I really like on the left. I just yesterday put in some guppy grass. That's it in the back. I wrapped it around some of the pieces of spider wood that are sticking up. There's some back there as well. I want to see how that does. When I first got that, I'm moving over to the left. That was a 20 long, by the way. Okay, this is a 10. Okay. We've got another much redder dwarf tiger lily. Java fern, again, babies that I have glued to rocks, and it's just sitting there. Seems to do much better if you can't let any of the substrate get over the roots on this stuff, or the rhizome, I should say. More guppy grass there. We have a pleated Cory at the top here. Well, yeah, there he is. Let's see what we got down here. Of course, we have I put koi loaches in almost every tank I have. I absolutely love them for cleanup crew. There's a ghost shrimp in the back. There you go. There's one of my bettas. This is a male. If he turns sideways, he's absolutely gorgeous, but he doesn't want to do that today. He's got a little cavey thing going on there under that root. There he is. He's very pretty. Now he's just a veil tail, but his coloring is breathtaking. His body is a very pale pink. His fins are a darker purple, red, blue, and he's got a red head if he'll turn this way. Well, he doesn't want to do that. Anyway, he's busy. He's going down back. There he is. Some more guppy grass here. Okay, that was a 10. I think that is set up nicely. I really like that, or what I call a normal 10. This is a 10 as well, but this is a column shape. It's like 20 inches high, but 12 by 12 at the base. I've got some Velocinaria that's not doing quite as well in here because I think the light is too high. I do have some ghost shrimp in there as well. Some that's again Java fern I've glued to a rock. Very large river rocks in this. Now, since you saw this last, I have moved this. This spider wood, the base, which I've got stuck on the wall here, not glued, it's just pressured by pushing against that rock. So it's holding the rock up and itself. Anyway, that part was down in the ground since the beginning, down here. And I just got tired of the way it looked. So a week or so ago, or a few days ago, I pulled it up and moved it to the flat part is just fitting perfectly against the glass. And as I said, I don't know, I just think it's more natural. I like that. I like the limbs being up in the branches being up in the air. Okay, that's the 10. I have a beautiful, I just don't see him right now. Another, almost all my tanks have snails in them. In order not to get eggs, though, I only put one mystery snail in each tank. Well, darn it, I don't see him. I have a, oh, he's in the back. There he is. He's hiding right now. He is gorgeous. He is huge, too. That is a male, what's his tail called? Half moon. But his coloring is, I'm so sorry you're not seeing him right now, but his coloring is incredible. He's mustard gas, just breathtaking. He was out a little bit ago. He's taking a break. Okay, anyway, off to the left here, we have my smallest tank. This is a 2.5 Aqueon bow front. I never thought I'd own a tank this small, but I tell you, this little fish right here, this is a little, excuse me, female Betta. She has white body and very pale blue. There you can see the blue a little bit there. She seems to like it. I've got her wood is kind of propped up with sand and stones on each side, so it's up off the ground, but it gives her a little shelter if she wants to go underneath there and kind of hide a little bit or get away from the bright lights. Of course, the filter in this takes up a lot of room, so she can get under there and get away from the bright lights as well, like she's doing right now. There she is. Anyway, yeah, this little female, which I don't normally buy females, but I've got 3 right at the moment because I thought they were so darn pretty. And sometimes they sit in those little bowls at the pet store for so long, my heart just goes out to them, and I eventually buy them and try to immediately find another little tank. Okay, long story short, because I find this interesting, because she's big, I think, for a female. I think she's huge. And she could be bearing eggs, and I hope that all comes out right, because I'm not trying to breed or anything. But sometimes it's okay, and sometimes they can't get the eggs out. We will hope for the best. Anyway, okay, let me back off of this a little bit. There we go. This is a 2.5 gallon. What was I trying to say? Oh, okay, I'm getting ready to show you the tank to her left. I had lost one of my bettas in the tank. Well, I'll go ahead and show you. In this tank, that had been in there a long, long time. Now, that's a new one there. He's similar, but he's a male. He's similar to her. He's white with blue fins. Absolutely gorgeous. But before I got him, I had lost the one in there. And I thought this was probably too small for her. I thought, she seems happy, but I just thought, I'd put her in there. Well, and I don't know if you can see, but her cleanup crew is nothing but shrimp, because I don't want to overtax the small size of the aquarium, so she's not going to have any other fish in there. Now in here we have shrimp too, but we have Cory Loaches, and we have 2 Cory Loaches, we have 2 pleated Cory Cats. There's a pleated Cory Cat in the back. This male seems to be very happy in here. As you can see, I set it up nicely. It's a beautiful tank. I use big rocks to kind of hold sand back and give it some, different heights and structure and stuff like that. And beautiful piece of spider wood over here. Some Corkscrew Valve. There's another coconut hut with Java Fern glued to the back. This is Trident Java Fern right here, which is kind of hard for me to find. Anyway, okay, we've got the 2 pleated Cory Cats. I'm trying to follow these guys. 2 Cory Loaches. There's the other Cory Cat. And 2 Autosynclus to clean up the algae. And I've just added some shrimp, literally yesterday. Okay, the point of my story is simply that I pulled the little girl, when I lost that other fish, I pulled the little girl out of here, there she is, and put her in this tank. Well, I don't know if she didn't understand that it was a different tank. I don't know why she went crazy, but she started, I don't mean just nudging, I mean she just attacked all my fish in here. Both the Pleiades, not just one Cory, and you can see how big they are. She went after my Cory Loaches, and she was, grabbing and shaking and just going nuts. So I kept thinking, well, maybe I give it a second and she'll realize how big the tank is. It's so much bigger, she doesn't have to really mess with her tank mates. Well, she didn't let up. So I have never had a male as aggressive as this little girl. So I netted her quickly, put her back in here, and she's been happy ever since. She does not swim back and forth. She does not act like she's bored. She never acts like that. She's always swimming around, always, of course, looking for food, but that's what they do. But she's always examining the tank. She swims around everything in there. Like I said, you can usually tell when a betta is bored when it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But she seems happy. And this was, a week or 2 ago now that happened. But she just, again, I was trying to give her a better tank, but she didn't want it. So, a few days after that incident, I went to the store and saw this little guy. He's just a normal veil tail, nothing fancy, but again, one of those that nobody wanted to buy because his coloring wasn't so spectacular. But once I got him in this tank with the lights that I have, I'm trying to have him show up. You can see blue streaks in his fins. Now, at the store, he almost looked see-through. His body was so white it was almost see-through. And there he is. And the fins were see-through. I mean, they had no color at all. But when I put him in here, now whether my lights did it or whether he felt comfortable and colored up, I don't know. But he's got some beautiful blue streaks. Again, I don't think the camera's doing it. Yeah, see, he's found all sort of nooks and crannies that he likes to sleep in. He seems very happy. Okay, that's a 10. We move to our left, another 10 column, which I personally find this is probably my favorite tank. Oh, beautiful little boy here. Now this is a twin tail. Not overly fond of those, but his coloring is spectacular, and he was not ridiculously expensive. He was like at Pet Supermarket. How much was he? $10 or $11, I think. Maybe 12, but I think it was $10.99. So more expensive than a veil tail, which is still only $5, $5.50. Here in DeLand, Florida. Look at the coloring. Oh my God. This is beautiful. Anyway, he seems happy in here. This is his setup. Another hut here that the koi loaches just love, with Java Fern on it. Another little group of Java Fern here glued to a rock. Huge piece of Java Fern in the back. Nubius on this log here. Spiderwood in the back. Okay. We'll back off. There you go. Let's see that. I find that gorgeous tank. Okay. This is Aqueon tank as well, but it's a 5-gallon. Boy, I ran across a deal on this on Facebook Marketplace. Wow, $15. Now, it's got a few little scratches right in here in the front, but the pump worked, the lights worked, while I add submersible lights that I can control with a little remote to all my tanks. That way I can walk in my room, and with one controller, I can, he's swimming back and forth, which I don't normally like, but normally he's not doing that. He kind of does that when I get close. I think he's waiting for food. Okay, let me back off so you can see the whole tank set up here. As you can see, a lot of wood, a lot of plants. I cut trimmings from my other Anubias and attached them to this piece of wood. Got some Java Fern in the back. Java Fern here in the front. Again, you can actually see the rock. I've got that glued to right there behind that piece of wood. And this is another rock covered in Java Fern, but I did a better job of covering the rock in that example. We've got part of the filter from the little pump coming down here. And then we also have a, there it is, sponge filter. You can just barely see that. There it is. There's the top of the intake valve that goes through the sponges. When I design my tanks, I really try to cover that up as much as I can. So that's, see from the front, you can't see that at all except for the top. But I like that. It's directional. It puts out tinier air bubbles than what I call the original traditional sponge filters. And you can twist that around. You can make, there's a tube inside a tube there, so you can make that shorter or taller. You can twist it to whatever direction you want it. I usually have mine in the back and coming toward the opposite front edge of the tank. Okay. That was a little female too, by the way. She's pretty. Okay. Now this is another column tank. Ran across some. I paid full money for the full price for the first one of these that I got, but then I started running across some on Marketplace that were a deal and a half. So If you just went out and bought this, it's about 80 bucks, which I find terribly expensive. But it's got a very high lid on it, like a couple inches. And it comes with it's not fanciest outside filter in the world, but it's decent. And I put the sponge filters in all my, where is it? There it is in the back. I put these in all my tanks. But that's nice. That's we have here. We don't have any shrimp in this one, but we do have, there he is, the Bumblebee Gobies. For part of my cleanup crew. We also have, he just went back. We have, there's one of my mustard gas. Isn't he gorgeous? And a little goby there in the bottom. But look at the finish. Oh my goodness. He is beautiful, beautiful. Orange and black and blue. It's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Anyway, for the cleanup crew in this, I have cooler loaches. And the black ones are cheaper. But there's a couple little gobies there. Should have 6 of those in there. Didn't they look at the coloring on him? Beautiful. There's another mystery snail falling off the glass in the background. Yeah, Mr. Betta here tries to go after some of these gobies every now and then, but he's no match there. They may look slow just sitting around, but when they need to move, they move. So it's not a problem. Okay, let's see here. That's